Hello my epic fellas, today in this video we'll be talking about how FNAF impact our lives. But I'm not doing this alone, so here we have the TNT Muffin and the meme scheme.
Hello, I am the TNT Muffin, Five Nights at Freddy's YouTuber. Five Nights at Freddy's was first introduced to me by one of my siblings. They described the game as you're in a Chuck E. Cheese, except it's at night and the machines try to kill you. And I interpreted that as the machines being like the arcade machines. And my first thought was that you're like running away from a claw machine. And I was 8, so that sounded pretty scary. Later on, though, I was talking to the first friend I actually met at my new elementary school, and they taught me about what FNAF actually is, and that was pretty cool, because that's basically how I bonded with my first friend there, so that was pretty interesting. And then from that point on, I was basically obsessed with the game. I was not allowed to play it, unfortunately, because, I was young, my parents didn't want me playing that, but I, looked at it on the App Store, I saw the picture of Bonnie, I thought it was Freddy for some reason. It wasn't, though. I really wanted to play it, but since I couldn't, my older brother showed me this game called Naughty Bear, where you're this teddy bear guy and you go around killing these other teddy bears. It was actually very violent, probably worse for me to play than FNAF. But, eventually my other friends, they were playing FNAF, so I ended up just playing on their iPads. Then my parents found out about that, and they eventually did let me play. Still while I was 8, and then I was obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. I think I'm supposed to talk about, how that's changed my life or whatever. Toy Freddy kissing each other. But, big way that I bonded with my friends all throughout, until, Ultimate Custom Night came out. Wasn't a big fan of that game. And then Help Wanted came out, and I didn't have a VR headset. Then I got a VR headset, and then I was obsessed with FNAF again. And here is where the actual, life-changing stuff happened to me with FNAF, which is during COVID. We're all locked inside. I had become recently obsessed again with Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was watching people like, Dawko, Freddy Pop Collector, if you've heard of him. And since Freddy Pop Collector, I think he was my age. I think he is my age. I was like, I could probably do that, make YouTube videos about FNAF. I wanted to make videos in the past, I always wanted to make YouTube videos, but it wasn't until this point, being locked inside during COVID, that I decided to really go for it. And, I'm a FNAF YouTuber now. I have been for 5 years, and it has definitely changed my life. It was my first job, I believe, actually making money from doing something. I have made tons of friends that way. I ended up collabing with this guy, Elementia Studios, who invited me to a server full of other YouTubers like Johnny Blocks, Puggo's Pizzeria, who I ended up becoming friends with, people like that, a bunch of other people as well. And, those are people that I've known for years now. I've ended up actually meeting most of them in person, which is awesome. Most of my friends that I currently have, I probably would not have made without FNAF. So that's been a big change, as well as what I've been spending my money on. My room is absolutely full of FNAF merch. But, I might not even have that money if it weren't for FNAF, so I guess it was worth it. Still not sure if it was a good decision spending $300 on this guy, but it is something I did. And the experiences I have had with FNAF, crazy ones, like seeing the animatronics in person at Halloween Horror Nights 2023, that was unreal, one of the coolest things ever. I waited 9 years for the FNAF movie to come out, so seeing that was one of the most anticipated things of my life, I guess. I went to PAX West, got to meet a bunch of those friends I mentioned. That was awesome. I got to meet fans, which was crazy. I've like every other kid, wanted to be a YouTuber forever. So having people actually watch my videos and recognize me in public was crazy. Now, people that work on FNAF, like Steelwool Studios employees, know who I am, which is insane. YouTubers I've watched since I was a little kid know who I am, like Sis Reacts. Tons of crazy stuff has happened to me because of Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah. And my channel is not completely FNAF, but it's only to the point where it is now because of Five Nights at Freddy's. If it weren't for FNAF, I wouldn't have this big Chuck E. Cheese wall. I wouldn't have all the Chuck E. Cheese stuff I have. I wouldn't have traveled to so many different places for videos or just for fun. So, honestly, kind of my whole life has been dictated by Five Nights at Freddy's, and without it, I have absolutely no idea what I'd be doing now. I'd probably be on the other side of the country. I don't know, it's crazy to think about how much Five Nights at Freddy's, of all things, has changed my life. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to think about, just this stupid game, honestly. It's dumb. It's completely changed my life. Not to say it's like the best thing ever. I don't think FNAF is the best game or the best movie. You know, it's not perfect for sure, but it for sure has changed the lives of a lot of people. It's a very popular game. If this is out, buy this plush, please.
Jump scare Nikki! Oh, did I get ya? Oh dear. Well, how's it going, everyone? It is I, the meme scheme in the saggy flesh. And if you're in the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom, especially into the merch side of things, chances are you may have seen me before. All it takes is a quick little glimpse at like my Instagram, Discord server, or YouTube channel to tell that I'm a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I've been a huge FNAF fan since almost the beginning, being huge into the games, collecting so much of the merch, and of course making tons and tons and tons of YouTube videos over the years about it. However, one thing that I'm not sure I've shared before is the story of how I first discovered and got into FNAF. So I, like many other FNAF fans, first got introduced to FNAF via YouTube. This was way back in 2014 when FNAF was new and every single Let's Play YouTuber was checking the game out. Before FNAF, my main thing was Minecraft, and whilst I was trying to, just watch my Minecraft videos on YouTube, I kept seeing videos come up for Let's Players playing this new game, Five Nights at Freddy's. And immediately the game definitely had my interest, because even though I was only 9 years old at the time, I was big into my horror. Because during this same era when FNAF came out, I was huge into a creepypasta phase. I was eating all that up. Herobrine, Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, all that stuff, I was obsessed. So naturally, a new spooky sensation, which was taking the internet by storm, I just had to check it out. Now, I was a little late to it. I didn't immediately start checking out FNAF when the first game came out. I got into it after FNAF 2 came out and just before FNAF 3 came out. So it was more like early 2015 or late 2014. So the first FNAF game I actually played was FNAF 2 and not FNAF 1. And I'm not gonna lie here, I'm gonna be brutally honest here because I was a little 9-year-old broke boy. I actually pirated FNAF 2 for my first ever time playing it. And nope, I had no PC. You wanna know where I got introduced to playing FNAF on? What amazing specs I was using to experience this life-changing event for me? Yeah, I was playing it on a goddamn fucking Kindle Fire, okay? Now, this was way before the mobile remaster for FNAF 2 came out. That didn't come out till like late 2019, so I was playing on the much crappier version of FNAF 2. It was still the official mobile port for FNAF 2, but before the remaster, the game was just much worse. But despite this, I still ended up loving the game, like really, really loving it. I actually got pretty cracked at it. I would play it over and over again. But funny enough, when I first played the game, went into it blind. I hadn't actually watched any of the gameplays. I just kept seeing them come up, so it got me to check it out. I actually went into the game blind without watching any gameplays, so I had no idea what I was doing. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was scared shitless. Like, really, really scared shitless. Like, I'm talking like shaking and barely being able to look at the screen. I don't know why I was such a chicken about it, considering the fact that I ate up any of them sort of YouTube sensations beforehand. I loved me, all that, Sonic EXE, Ben's Round, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, all that sort of jazz. But hey, I guess fucking Five Nights at Freddy's was all it took. And eventually, I overcame my fear, and it took me an embarrassingly long time to actually get down FNAF 2 and understand how the game even bloody worked. I don't even want to admit how long I was stuck at night 2 for, because I just couldn't seem to, my stupid little 9-year-old mind couldn't grasp that when there was an animatronic in the event you had to put a mask on. I guess that was too much to comprehend. But when I finally learned the ropes, I was able to breeze through the game and had a hell lot of fun with it. And now it's a little strange, I don't know why I did this, but for some reason I would just keep playing FNAF 2, and it took me ages until I actually played FNAF 1. I'm pretty sure I didn't get FNAF 1 until summer of 2015, a year after it came out, yet for months I was just playing FNAF 2. I even played FNAF 3 before FNAF 1. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Maybe I couldn't even fucking count either. I don't fucking know. And yes, of course, outside of the games, I was eating up every single thing else about FNAF. I was loving the theories, a channel I used to watch a lot, Pretty Grumpy Bear. You might remember that if you're an older FNAF fan. That was classic stuff right there. 8-Bit Gaming was also my second source for theories, and Doco, they were like the big three. Oh, and of course, Game Theory, have to bring that up. Who didn't watch Game Theory? They were the big four for me that I would go for all my lore shenanigans. Of course, ate up all the fan songs. Oh my god, let me tell you, some of them I was watching hundreds and hundreds of times. Of course, the big ones, Living Tombstone, Tryhard Ninja, DA Games, eating all of them up. Oh yeah, there was also Mando Pony. I used to love their stuff, but then, you know what happened. And then I was, of course, eating up all the gameplay stuff as well. Markiplier, all them guys. I was watching practically every gameplay video there was out there. And all the cartoons and all people were making as well. Of course, Pymation's iconic 5 a.m. at Freddy series. It was this one as well, you may remember. I don't think it's not on YouTube anymore, but there's re-uploads of it. Fazbear and Friends. That was a sussy one. And of course, I'm so happy to have been able to experience all that. But I was there just seeing all the hype for FNAF 3 and 4 with all of them Scott Games teasers for 3 and 4. Just so goddamn nostalgic. And now I could literally rant for hours and hours and just go on about very specific memories I have in my mind from over a decade ago about FNAF, from when I would play all like make-believe games with my friends at school and stuff like that. But oh god, I could go on for light years. So how about, to finish things off, let's talk about how I got into the merchandise side of things, because if you take a look at my channel, that's sort of my main sector. The main things I cover on the channel is actually the merch and not so much the games, because so many other people do that and do it much better than I could. So FNAF merch didn't start rolling out until sort of the later half of 2015. Well, it was actually kind of early half with Sanchi. They were doing the t-shirts, but the first proper merch with the Sanchi plushies and those chest toy danglers didn't start coming out till sort of the later half of 2015. Of course, I really wanted those, especially the Sanchi plushies, but, you know, they were like $30, and to me, when I was like, what, 9 or 10, that seemed like a PS5 to me at the time. So I didn't end up picking up any of that stuff when it was out, although I really, really wanted them for Christmas. But with me being in the UK, you know, you can only imagine how expensive that would have been with the shipping and stuff. So 2016 Funko rolled around. Finally, good opportunity, retail price stuff, all easily accessible. Here in the UK, it was also very well stocked. But I, again, being the dumb little, not as educated guy I was, didn't actually know where to go for FNAF merch at the time. I really only relied on online. I didn't really know of all the local like comic book and collectible stores near me that would have sold it. So I didn't actually get my first piece of FNAF merch until early 2017, so well over a year after official FNAF merch started rolling out. Actually, I lied. The first technical piece of merch I got was in 2016, but it was shitty pajamas, so I'm not even going to talk about that. The true first item I got was in March of 2017. It was the Funko Funtime Foxy and Foxy plushies. I ordered these at the same time on Amazon, so I'm counting them as the same. I received the Funtime Foxy first, but I ordered them at the same time, so they're basically both the first thing I got. Now, this was Amazon. This was basically the only site I was using back then. I wasn't even using eBay. So I took a chance, and I knew, because I was reading all the reviews and all, when I was buying on Amazon and it just had the product photos, I bought some random seller for both of them. There was a very 50-50 chance of whether I was going to receive the glamorous official plushies or crappy, shitty, smelly bootlegs. And, well, there was a good and a bad, because unfortunately the Funtime Foxy was fake, and that was a really bad way to start my merch journey, because the first piece of FNAF merch I got in hand was a goddamn bootleg. But thankfully, in an awesome turnaround, the Foxy did end up being official. And boy, did I have a lot of fun with those 2 plushies. I played with them to hell. Of course, nowadays, when it comes to merch, I keep it as collector stuff. I never even touch it. It's all just display pieces. But trust me, in the earlier days, oh, they were toys, all right. I would bash and bump them, and hey, oh boy, they took some load of dirt and everything to them. I still have them in hand. They're of course far from mint condition, but I am going to keep them till the end of time because the sentimental value there is sweet. And from there, FNAF has just carried me through all this decade plus. I'm still super into it. I still buy stuff for it all the time. I still collect it. My collection is absolutely huge. I have put too many hours into the FNAF games. I have become way too cracked at them. I have too goddamn much merch of it. But man, honestly, it's all in a great way. It's impacted my life in such a positive way. If it weren't for FNAF, I would probably not even be here in any regard. I would have such a different lifestyle. I probably wouldn't even be collecting merch for anything. Nowadays, of course, I collect for Sonic and Mario and South Park and all that jazz. But that probably all stemmed from FNAF. FNAF is what really, truly got me into collecting stuff and just realizing how much I love that sort of stuff. So I've got FNAF to thank for everything. And the YouTube channel as well. So much of that success was thanks to FNAF. So I really owe everything to FNAF, and I'll continue loving it till the end of time. Okay, I've let this get really, really long. Thank you so much, Geo the Epic, for having me here. It's up to you if you want to crop any of this out because I rambled on too long, as to be expected. But thank you so much for having me here, and thank you to all of you for listening to me yap for so long. So thank you all, and I will see you later.
So I'm not gonna be yapping too much, so I'm just gonna talk about how FNAF impacted my life. Basically, in the year 2014, I got interested by these plushies that they've been selling. But the thing is, when I got these Funko plushies, I didn't even know what FNAF was at the time. I just figured out from the plushies. And the first Funko plush I got was Foxy, back when Toys R Us was actually open. And the thing is, I was actually terrified of FNAF. I was really scared of it. I was just being a fucking bitch. But you can't really blame me because I was a kid back then. So it makes sense why would I be afraid of it. So basically, FNAF impacted my life by just plushies. I love them so much that I keep getting them and getting them. That's why I have so many. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching this video. It kind of took a while. Special thanks to the TNT Muffin and the Meme Scheme. You guys are awesome. Subscribe.